Welcome to Design Your Way, the podcast that helps you build a creative career that truly reflects who you are. You're finishing your studies or just starting out in the professional world, in architecture, design, or any other creative field, and you're wondering how to navigate this transition, find your path, and build a career that feels meaningful to you. I'm Louise Blanche, a final year student in architecture in France, passionate about creation, communication, and entrepreneurship. Here we talk about everything we don't learn in school. How to land your first job, understand the reality of the profession, how to create your own project, and how to present yourself in a way that attracts the right opportunities. We'll meet twice a month for expert interviews, conversations with other students and young professionals, and some more personal episodes where I will share my reflections and the lessons I've learned along the way. Whether you're a student, a recent graduate, or already starting your career, this podcast is here to support you, to give you practical tools, and to inspire you to move forward at your own pace. So, are you ready to build your career as intentionally as your projects? Welcome to Design Your Way. In this episode, we'll explore how to find your specialty and how to explore different paths to be able to find the specialty that suits you, that fulfills you, and that motivates you. If you're listening and you feel like you're a bit lost in your studies, you feel like you need to find your specialty or the thing that makes you special, or you need to specialize in one field but don't know how to choose, then this episode is made for you. I'm Louise Blanche, I'm an architecture student, and over the past few years I've tried many different specialties, and it really led me to understand more what I liked, how I function, and what I wanted for my own career. So let's dive into it. If you're feeling like you are drawn to one thing or the other but you're not really sure about it, and you feel like you have to make the choices now, don't worry too much. I know that sometimes you need to choose for your studies, and of course you need to take the time to actually reflect and think about it, but most of the time, if you're not really sure about what to choose, the best way of doing is to try different things. I've explored architecture, city planning, interior design, branding, and communication, and I think exploring all of these really helped me to understand what I like, what I don't like, what I need, and I might not have chosen a specialty yet, but definitely I'm able to open some doors for myself. So this episode will be a guide for you to be able to find your answers, the one that fit you, your personality, your dreams, and your aspirations, so that you can design a career that fits you. If you're wondering if you should specialize or keep your options open, and if you're scared of choosing wrong, then you might need to rethink a little bit how it works. You can't really plan a career on paper. You might have a real goal, you might have a dream, but it doesn't mean that it's actually what will suit you. For example, I arrived in architecture being sure that I wanted to be building houses for the rest of my life, and after a few years, I pretty much changed my mind, and I think it's for good. So no, you don't have to know everything already, you don't have to choose everything for the rest of your life. So many things can still evolve, and the most important for you is to understand more about yourself. Careers are actually not chosen, they are built. You are building your own career with all the experiences that you are having. And clarity really comes after action and not before. You need to act to be able to understand what happened or what you want to happen. So really don't plan too much ahead, especially if it's something that makes you very anxious. I would really say to follow your curiosity and the opportunities that come to you. And really trying to try different things and explore the different fields that attract you so that you can have a better idea of what really suits you and what doesn't. I'll give you my journey as an example. As I told you, I entered architecture being so sure about this field and then started to question it. I then dove a little bit more into city planning. I tried a few projects and then got an internship in city planning. I could have gotten an internship in architecture, but I felt like it was a field that I wanted to try out for real in the professional world. And so that's why I got the internship in that field. It's also because I had the opportunity to get an internship in that field. Otherwise, it would not have happened. And that's fine. Working in city planning really helped me to understand more how architecture were working, but also how cities and the entire planning process. I really got to get a broader view and understand more what I was actually studying. It also meant being in a new reality with other types of people. For example, I found out that in city planning, especially where I was, people were way more organized and way less artistic than in architecture. and it led to more frame and more control. And that's something that really felt reassuring to me compared to architecture, where I'm sometimes scared it will just go one way or the other and that I don't have any control over it. Also, you get a real idea of how it is to work in that field and not only studying. It means that you have a better idea of the salaries, of the conditions of work, but also of the tasks that you should do and how your daily life would look like. Because you might really love one activity, but doing it every single day for the rest of your life, it might not suit you. So that's why I think it's also really good to see the real life of what it is to work in that field. It also helps you to understand what your skills are and what you already have mastered. For example, for me, because of my architecture studies, I had a pretty good understanding of users and how they were interacting with the space, and also being able to create a project from pieces. Those were things I was pretty good at, when some more technical stuff about law, for example, or more economic parts were not my strengths. So I think it also really helps you to know what you're good at, know what you already can, and know what you want to learn. And this really showed me that, architecture was not a mistake. It was more of a foundation to start understanding many things that I was interested in and get so many skills that I could then use for different types of specialties and different domains. And also actually diving into one field and trying it for real really gave me a larger understanding of what I was actually studying. I got to understand architecture a little bit better. I got to understand the bigger picture, to understand the bigger scale. And it also showed me that studying architecture can then mean so many different things, and that doors were way more open than I was expecting. And it showed me new values, new ways of thinking, new ways of looking at a project, new ways of understanding the world. And trying something different doesn't erase what you learn, it just adds up, it adds a new layer to it, and you can then use it in any other field. But definitely for me, trying city planning was such a good decision. I found out that I really liked it, that it was something that was interesting me a lot, really helped me to understand so many things that I would never have understood otherwise, and made me able to project myself doing that. I really liked it, but I've also been pretty drawn to communication and branding. I've started my YouTube channel when I arrived in architecture school. It's something that I'm interested in, but where I don't have that much experience, and that's why diving into it also brought me so much. So you don't have to focus only on internships or professional experience. You can also build your own opportunities, your own projects, and gather some work experience like that. For me, working on my YouTube channel, on my Instagram, on my podcast has been a very big source of learning. It also gave me more motivation to learn and teach myself about marketing, communication, business, and those are things that you can't really tie together otherwise, and that you can't really get when you're doing only architecture. So in this search for a specialty, I really tried to lean into things that were interesting me, that I was curious about, but also that I was willing to pour my heart and soul into. And trying this communication part, trying social media and growing from it has been a very, very interesting experience. And it really led me to understand that communication is everywhere. Architecture, design, branding, all they are just telling stories, and it can be so valuable to master these skills. So side projects are not just distractions, they are also experiments, and they can also really help you understand who you are, what you want, and maybe dive into some parts that you would have not dove into otherwise. And these can make such a difference in the way that you understand more about yourself and then are able to decide because of it. And they can make such a difference because you will be able to experiment so much more and learn so much more about yourself, and then use it to actually design your way. I think that once you've explored a little bit, it's also interesting to think back on what you've done, what you've tried, and reflect. See what was interesting for you, see where you were good at, and try to tie both of these into maybe a project, maybe a field that you want to explore. For me, because I was thinking about what are my skills and what do I like to do, what have I done and how can I tie all of it together, I thought, how can I tie branding and communication and design over with architecture, and decided to maybe try interior design because that's something that would bring both of these together. And that's how I then really tried to get some more work experience in interior design, to see how it actually is and to see if that would be a way that would suit me. For me, interior design was a great way of learning how to make the link between making spaces, that's what I've learned in architecture school, and building identities, that's what I learned on my own with my own project. And it's really showed me that I was able to tie it together. I had the skills. It really showed me that I had learned a lot and that those were things that I could do, that I had value in that. It's really important to know which skills that you have are valuable and see that you can actually use them for other people and that it brings value to the table. I think this was the most valuable thing that I took out of interior design, because yes, clients don't see spaces as architects do, and what we learn in school, we don't really see it because we're surrounded by people who are doing the same thing, but it is definitely super valuable and it can be super useful for someone else. And then you also find out that you have a lot of knowledge and that it's also very powerful and very valuable. It also made me realize the value of the diploma, because after studying architecture, you have more possibilities than someone that just studied interior design. And I didn't really understand the value of my diploma and of my studies until I got to speak with people who are in that field and who couldn't do everything that I would be able to do when I graduate. And that was a big realization. So to learn from my experience, I would really say that maybe you don't need to choose a specialty if you don't really know what to choose, but definitely you should follow your curiosity, follow what sounds interesting to you, follow the things where you think, oh, maybe I would like that, and then try it as much as you can. Try to experiment with it, try to get an internship, try to get some professional experience or grow some projects on the side, but really trying to dive a bit more into every single field. And from that, you will be able to get a new view on your skills, but also be able to find your value in your own journey. And it might also just give you a better view of what you can offer, what suits you, and putting you in different fields with different people in different settings can also just help you so much by understanding more how you work the best, and with who you want to work, and what you actually want to do with your time. So it's not what should I become or what should I do, it's more what can I try next, and just keep on trying and trying and trying. Either you will find something where you see that it's the thing for you, or you can just keep on trying, and every time you try something, then it leads you to something else, and that's how you grow. So I think it's actually a real path that you can take, just leaning into the opportunities that you have, trying to get some new ones, and just experimenting with everything that feels like it could be something for you. And if you feel like it's too late, no, don't worry, it's never too late. You can always try very, very different things. And if you keep on trying and keep on experimenting, you will definitely find stuff that will actually resonate with you a little bit more. So really take the time to think about what you're curious about, which fields or specialties you would like to try, and then put the effort and really try to get those opportunities, to get this experience, to put yourself out there, and to gather all this information about yourself. And if you learned something from the podcast, don't hesitate to leave a review. I would be super happy to read it, and it can also really help promote it to people like us who would be interested in it. I really hope you will be able to get all the experience that you want. Thank you so much for listening. I'll see you in the next episode. Bye!